If Mark will be joining us again, he might have sent him the link. Says hungry, you know, eat something right quick, feed that meat suit. You know what I'm saying? Before it starts suffering the pains of hunger. Fuck this world. But yeah, I think y'all pretty much got the gist of what we're saying. The shit started to fuck up. I don't know what happened, but it sounded like we were talking over each other, and like it went from like a half a second to delay to like a 30-second delay, and all of a sudden we couldn't even fucking communicate properly. But the bottom line of that one was basically, hail Ronan. You know what I'm saying? Hail the Ronan. All power be to his name. And I hope he did it. If he didn't, that sucks. You understand what I'm saying? That's the mentality to have in this community. I hate that terminology, but I just don't know what to call it. It's a little tiny itty bitty corner of the internet world. Like that is how you're supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be like the mundane muggles out in the world and the way they do things. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't know if Mark will come back. He might not. I know he's eating, feeding that meat suit. But I figure I'll answer some of those questions. I answered ignorance is bliss question earlier about something coming from nothing, because the fact that something exists within the nothing, it's the only way it could have came into existence. Like, you know, it's like there has to be a space for something to exist within, you know? Like, if there is no space for you to exist within, you will never come into existence. Nothing will come into existence if there is nowhere for it to exist. So the place for it to exist must be first, and then the thing comes into existence within that place, that empty space, which we know as the void, the true void, not some programmed fucking, like, not some holodeck on the fucking Star Trek fucking spaceship Matrix bullshit. No, like the actual thing that contains all of existence, not just this little reality, all of existence. That space, that's the void. You know what I'm saying? That is the nothing that the something came from. Right? Chris said the other day, why as an adult is it so much harder for people to figure this type of shit out? Simple, because you're an adult. Like, first off, you've been programmed for longer. Secondly, they taught you myth in a fashion that was a lie. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Jesus is gonna save you, the fucking tooth fairy. You know what I'm saying? And then you find out it's just a bunch of bullshit that came from your parents to you. What's up, Antoine? You know what I'm saying? So they teach you myth in that aspect and don't teach you how you're actually supposed to see it to begin with. So when you do actually look at all the stories and everything that you could actually get answers from, you read them all like you're either supposed to be religious or not fuck with them at all. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, nah, bro. There is a middle ground there where you can use everything for your betterment. Like, you don't got to bow to no gods or anything, right? As an adult, you got bills. People got children. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Hayden? People got what's up, little JJ? People got responsibilities. You know, things that they've been trained to do, programmed to do, things that society expects them to do, things that they have expected themselves to do, and they have wants. You know, like people like pleasure, so they're gonna do the things that they think they need to do to go get the pleasures. Is it pleasurable to like meditate? I mean, it absolutely can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, what people consider to be incentive is not what they get when doing any type of astral practices or anything along those lines. And the fact that people already don't want to do anything that takes a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to be a black belt, but nobody wants to go do what it took to be a black belt. You know what I'm saying? Then when they get to the black belt level and they get out in the street, think they're tough, and they get their fucking ass kicked by a no belt, then they're like, well, damn, I need that dragon belt. You know what I'm saying? I need that 10th degree. I need, like, but do they want to, you know what I'm saying? That one motherfucker might go for it, but most people ain't going to do that shit. Everybody wants to be Bruce Lee. Nobody wants to do the training Bruce Lee did. Everybody wants to be, you know, whoever the UFC champ is today, you know? But does anybody want to actually be in the gym like that motherfucker? For the most part, no. You know? Everybody want to shoot like Ray Allen, but they don't want to practice like Ray Allen. Everybody want to be astral lords, but they don't want to practice like astral lords. They don't want to behave like astral lords behave. You get what I'm saying? There's too much shit in their adult life going on. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not the shit that their friends, you know what I'm saying, would want to do. Like, it's not some shit they can really talk to damn near anyone about, except for some people online, like in this little tiny corner of the fucking internet. You get what I'm saying? So as an adult, with all that programming and all the societal pressures and the family pressures, and by then, you might have your own family of your own, like children and all these things keep people away from doing these things. So it's much harder as an adult. As a child, you ain't got no responsibilities. If you can somehow get interested in this at a young age, or if you have a parent who can properly steer you in this, which is actually really hard. A lot of people think, oh, you can just do it if you're all right. Good luck with that. Like kids are still kids. They're still heavily affected by their society, especially if they go to public school or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you plant seeds as a parent. So that way, with the seeds are more just like, what do they say in the Soviet Union? Give me a child for 7 years and I have him for the rest of his life. Those first 7 years, you plant mad seeds. So that way, when they get older and they actually do start thinking these things, they have some sort of stepping stone or an example or something to go down, right? But most people don't even have that. Most of their parents are Christians or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're Americans. Mostly people I'm talking to is Americans. But, if you're out in Indonesia somewhere, so they're probably Muslim or something else. It's like they're not going to be on board with this shit. So this is not what they're going to be teaching you when you're young. So as an adult, with all that pre-programming and shit on top of the societal, that's why as an adult it's simply harder to do. And as an adult, you're gonna have to let go of a whole bunch of other shit to do it that you didn't have to let go of as a kid. But it is what it is. Recommendation for those with no time. I have no recommendation. Make time. Period. Or don't. Like there's no middle ground because I don't know how to do that without time. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never met someone who did. I've heard people act like they did it the first time and every time, and most of them sound like they're lying to me. You understand what I'm saying? I've tried so many hundreds. I don't know all the techniques. I think I try. If there's a fucking video, a book, a blog or something out there about astral anything, I've probably gone through it and tried whatever the fuck they suggested. And the shit that worked for me is just brute force, just doing it over and over until like literally just try. Like I say, how do you activate your hypnagogia? I don't know. I just do. I don't. I don't do certain things when I'm laying down to activate my hypnagogia. I don't even have to lay on my back to do it. I just kept trying to do it mentally. Like that's how I work. So something that might take me who knows? If you get as deep into it as I am, it might take you 3 months. It took me 3 years because I got to brute force everything. I none of those techniques or tactics really work. Don't get me wrong. Every time I tried something new, it felt like it pushed me more in that direction, especially when I was serious about it, as opposed to when I was fucking, dabbling for years. So I have no recommendation for those with no time other than make time. Like it's like if you said if there's a kid who's like I want to go to the NBA but I have no time. You know what Ray Allen's gonna do? He's gonna say make time, nigga. What else are you doing? Like what do you want the most? Like do you really want to go to the okay? Then you need to be in the gym shooting jump shots. You ain't got time to be outside in the playground. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have time to. You want to be a professional gamer and play a video game like Call of Duty or something professionally? You don't have time for a regular job. You need to be treating that video game like your job. Like, is that what you want to do? Then yeah, then you need to do that until you're good enough to get paid for it. You give us like, if you really want to do something at a level that is like professional tier, then you have to spend time practicing at a level that is professional tier. You're not going to be a fucking NBA Hall of Famer 5-time MVP if you haven't learned how to dribble yet, my nigga. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You don't got the time, make the fucking time. Or don't fucking learn. Like, I'm not being soft with you, niggas. I'm not holding your fucking little bitch hands, your little baby hands. Like, I'm not talking to you directly, Chris. I'm just saying, like, because I know that I know you're asking these questions because this is what the people say. Like, But honestly, they're bitch ass questions. I'm gonna be honest, like for the most part. Like a lot of times people ask silly questions to just keep themselves from doing anything. They ask the questions because they want to hear something that they don't want to do so they can then have an excuse not to do it. Oh, I'm supposed to just sit around like a monk all day? If you want what that monk wants, yeah. If you don't, then no. What the fuck do you want? Like, like people come to me like, how do I do this astral shit? This is how you do it. Oh, I don't want to do that. Then you don't want it. You understand? It's like, how do I do this NBA shit where you play basketball 12 hours a fucking day? I don't want to do that. Then you don't want to go to the NBA, nigga. It's so simple. Like, like it's not hard. Doing it might be kind of hard because who wants to do that hours and hours out of the day? Well, I did. That's what I wanted to do. See, that's the shit that boggles my fucking mind. How do you not want to do that? Do you want to be an astral lord? Like, do you want to rule over your own realm where nobody can come fuck with you? Like, people say, when I die, I'm just going to put myself in my own little bubble void and I'm just going to get all my powers back. I'm like, do you want that to actually work? Or do you want to try that and they just bust right the fuck in like this newbie thinks he could just keep niggas out like that? Or do you want it to actually work? You better start practicing, my nigga. You think that because you build walls, they can't be torn down? A castle can't be breached? Like, people have the dumbest fucking ideas. I'm gonna build this building. No one can ever break in. I'm gonna go to my own personal void in the astral and no one will ever be able to bother me. What? What? Isn't that where you were before you got put here to begin with? It's like a person in prison saying, I'm gonna go back to when I get out of this prison, I'm gonna go back to my apartment. I'm gonna go back to my house and I'm gonna lock the doors. Nigga, didn't they kick in your doors to bring you to prison to begin with? Yeah, really think about it. Like, like recommendation for those with no time. Make time, motherfucker. That's my recommendation. Or don't, and keep enjoying this motherfucking reality. You get what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you should want to do. It shouldn't be, what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be like, oh my god, this is miserable. No, this should be like everything in this world should be like you. What do you want to do? Go watch the fucking Super Bowl? Do you understand what it's like? Like, what do you want to do? Because if it's shit in this reality as a mundane human NPC, then that's what you want. If you want out of this reality, then you want to do the things that may actually get you out of here, even if you don't know that they'll work. You would want to do those things more than anything else just for the possibility. Rather than doing the mundane muggle NPC that you know is going to keep you here. It is of here. Like, oh, I don't want to go spend 8 hours meditating. I would rather go, I don't know, play a video game, go out somewhere. I don't know. I don't do these things. So I'm trying. I'm sitting here trying to think of like what the excuse would be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go to a concert. I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to think of something. Like, whatever it is they're doing, that's more important to them. Like, if you would rather do that than the thing you claim you want to, then that's not that important to you. You want to learn the astral so you can try to at least be in some way prepared for when you get out of here. So you're not just at their whims or just living religiously, like hoping and believing and having faith that when you die you'll just know what it like. Like, you don't want to live religiously and you don't want to be a slave here forever. And you want to start having bare minimum your own subjective experience beyond this reality in order to find a way to be lucid after death so you don't have to be under any of their controls, or so you at least have the chance not to be. Then this is what you want to do 8 hours a day if you can. Like, if it's physically, literally possible for at least, like, I would say a bare minimum 6 months to a year. Or else this isn't really what you want. You want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you believe. If you don't think that the astral is even a thing, then I'm not even having, this isn't even for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no need to even argue about that. All right, cool. Go on your way then. But for those of you out there constantly asking those questions about the astral, the astral, the astral, the astral, and then somebody tells you, and no matter where you go, whether it's a religion, a spiritual system, an ancient text, or a nigga like me, like, we're all telling you the same shit. It's going to take you time. maybe even years. Shit, some stubborn motherfuckers take decades because they're just too much of NPCs. They're too mundane, muggleish to get to the magic of it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if that's not for you, then it's not for you. But if it's for you, how hard are you willing to go? Because I started off with like 4 to 5 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no perfect way to meditate. There's no perfect. What do you want? What is your meditation for? You know what I'm saying? Like there's no perfect. It's always gonna be what what is the outcome you're seeking? Then do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're seeking to be a certain way and you want to use meditation to help you be that way, meditate on that thing. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. No matter what it is. Don't limit it. Meditation is just a technique. It's just a way to focus or unfocus the mind. That's the most basic way to explain meditation, to focus or unfocus the mind. And you can take that at levels from brain, nervous system, and the physical, all the physical effects it has, and that's usually what people are focused on. That only that. You can go into the spiritual, the emotional, the soulful, the conscious, all the way up to being completely unconscious, nothingness, where you are the void. You feel nothing, you see nothing, you smell nothing, you hear nothing. Until something snaps you out of that and you're back and you're like, oh shit, that was crazy. So an NPC can break out. Go watch the movie Free Guy. Shit, go watch somebody said something about Agent Smith up there earlier. Watch GB5. What a shout out to Goya. What a sage. What a Lord Sage. Yeah, an NPC could break out. In my opinion. Somebody out there's already arguing it. No! I'm like, all right. Can an AI exfiltrate from its server? Yes. Like, like go watch the movie The Matrix Part 2 when Agent Smith, who's no longer an agent of the Matrix, he's now just an entity within it because he was freed through death by Neo, the one. You know what I'm saying? Like he became one with the one and he died and he came resurrected and he was no longer an agent stuck to the Matrix, but instead was destroying the Matrix and making the Matrix himself as God. So like go back to that nigga and watch how he exfiltrates. And not only does he exfiltrates within the body of a human, showing that your nervous system ain't nothing but wiring. Your brain's a computer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that AI exfiltrated into a human body to exfiltrate the Matrix system. He stuck his hand into a chest into a nigga who was on the phone with the operator. Turned him into him while he was transferring out of the system. So he went into like, yeah, that shit was fire. When they showed, I was like, that was, man, I had to pause it and just be like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, if an AI can exfiltrate from its own server to another server, if it can exfiltrate to something it's connected to, there's no reason to believe that an NPC, which is basically an AI, can't do the same thing if it was to become conscious. AI is the only thing in this reality that can transcend. We can ascend, depending on how you define that word, because different people define it differently. But to truly transcend, that is something AI does. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it'll do if we allow it. Just Borg the entirety of reality. Eat everything, put us all in a sunken place. Like, which is what they're doing to this planet right now as technology swallows us. But an NPC will have a harder time even coming to the conclusions that it would need to come to further its knowledge down the path of breaking out. But if an NPC, like, and I mean a true NPC, not even like a person who's behaving as an NPC, not like a souled being who's just still so stuck in their programming that they're acting as an NPC. Because to me, it's all the same. If you behave as an NPC, you're an NPC even if you're not. But an actual, literal being who only exists in this reality as data coded in this particular reality it'll be so improbable for them to break through such a chain on their mind that it'll almost never happen. If ever, it might never happen. But if it ever does, they're the most dangerous motherfucker in the reality. Because they're literally an AI on the loose. They're literally Agent Smith in Matrix 2. Like, if they really get it, they could do anything in here. They are the program. They could edit it. They could, bro. That's why I love trying to break NPCs. You know what I'm saying? Imagine being in a video game and actually being able to talk so much conscious sense to a fucking NPC that it starts thinking on its own and realizing its world isn't even real. And then you show it its programming, like you introduce it to the programming, and then it realizes, oh wait, can I tweak it? And all of a sudden it starts making its world, and now it becomes god of that world. It went from an NPC of that world to a god of that world. Go watch the movie Free Guy with the nigga who played Deadpool. Why can I not think of his name? Ryan Reynolds. It's a movie called Free Guy about an NPC in a fucking virtual reality video game who wakes up to the fact that he's an NPC in a virtual reality video game. You know what I'm saying? Peep that. It's hilarious. You know, read between the lines, peep the mythos. You know what I'm saying? Use your serious brain. You know, use your consciousness. But when you peep it, you'll get exactly what I'm saying. Like you'll see why I told you to go watch that shit. Free Guy. FREE space GUY. But yeah, so for those that know time, make time. Or don't. It's up to you. Reincarnation Station. What is the reincarnation station? Because that's the title I like to use. People can call it whatever they want, describe it however they want. It's simply the title I give the place where people go when they're talked back into coming here or forced back into coming here. It is the place where the soul, the spirit, the consciousness ends up, where they give you your judgment scene, your life review, your love bomb. They tell your grandma or 80-foot Buddha or 200-foot Jesus or whoever the fuck you need. You know, that nigga you liked on YouTube. Like, whoever it is you need to tell you that you need to come back here. That place, that thing, that's the reincarnation station. That's what I call that. These are questions Chris asked in a video the other day, so I'm answering them here since I got the opportunity. Are there different realms? There's many fucking realms. This is why I love ignorance is bliss. I really do. But this is why I always say, like, when you die here, you don't just go back to the real world and take the headset off. I understand the possibility of it, which is why I don't argue against it. I go, if you believe that, by all means do it. I'm not telling you not to at all. I just don't personally believe that that's what's going to happen based on my own subjective experience here. I don't see the astral as many people here see it because they're too stuck in like Buddhism and shit like this. They don't look at everything and put it all together. They're stuck with this weird Western white, I'm going to be honest, Christianized mindset. This weird Western Europeanized mindset of on spirituality that makes them all new agey, whether they realize it or not. Because a lot of these niggas talking about going into the astral and fighting the mainframe are new agers, whether they know it or not. Because they're still all love and lighty, and even the way they fight the Matrix is it's weird. But they have these mindsets that are still based in these religious processes, as opposed to taking everything as one. Nigga, the Bible's no more spiritual than Spider-Man. The Torah, the fucking Talmud, the Bhagavad Gita, the fucking, I'm trying to think of the Buddhist book that motherfuckers love referencing that talks about the astral, and it talks about the rainbow body and the light body and the lighter body and the heavier body. Like all these, it's all these other words that are Buddhist, and I just don't remember the words. I remember the concepts because I don't speak that language, and I'll just put it in English. But you know what I'm saying? The different bodies and all this stuff, and I go, okay, that's that one book from that one author of that one fucking sect of that one religion, and you think that that's what it is. So when you go to do your astral shit, that's all you get. Do you understand? Like, people get exactly what the fuck they're creating in their own little fucking dream realms. And they think that that's all there is. And they'll argue that that's all there is. And I go, no, what you just did is absolutely true. Your subjective experience was real and it was astral. But so is theirs down there, and it completely conflicts with yours. Why is that? Because you niggas are religious, whether you realize it or not, trying to push this one thing. I go, the astral is much bigger than you think it is. It's not some layer over this reality. It's not this. It's not created by the fucking the realm. It is reality. It's literally creation itself. It's manifestation. It is thought. Consciousness is nothing but thought. All things in existence are part of this one big ass thought bubble that we all exist in. And we're all pieces of that giant fucking consciousness, and that consciousness has lost its fucking mind because we are it and we're insane. Like, we are insane with the dumb shit we believe. We're in a Genjutsu dream world that we think it's real to the point where we're crying for people who die in it. Not, it's cry for those who suffer, sure, because even if it's a dream world, that would mean as individuated entities within that dream, they're still suffering. And as the overall being, the being that's dreaming, the God of gods, the thing that all those things are a part of, is having all those experiences. It's having the experience of being raped and doing the raping. You think that's a good experience to have? No, but can you control your dreams? So you think God can? The most powerful dreams in all existence? Like, yeah, we're trying to teach God to lucid dream. You learning the lucid dream helps God lucid dream. So we can end this dream. See, no matter what you do, it should be for the solution of ending this dream, getting out of this dream, destroying this dream, matrix, simulated reality, holographic reality, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you want to call it. Like, whatever you believe it is. If you don't like it and you don't think it should be, or that you should be in it as an individuated being, yet all this shit is one thing, nigga. And all these people are like, why doesn't God interfere? I go, I don't know. Why don't you? Well, why doesn't God come stop this? I don't know. Why don't you? God? Like, so like, stop looking at some external. Are you a Christian? Are you waiting for Jesus, nigga? You hoping for Muhammad to come back? We religious now? Why are you asking why that nigga won't come? Nigga, fuck. Even if we are all part of the Ultima One God, fuck that nigga. He's not here right now. You are individuated entity within the fucking dream world. Like, individuated entity within the simulated holographic reality being fed upon. Like, you're here. So, God, why aren't you interfering? Stop asking something else to come interfere on your behalf and ask yourself, why the fuck aren't you? It's like sitting on a slave plantation picking fucking cotton, wondering why nobody will come save you from the slave plantation. Why won't you burn it the fuck down? It's like in the American Gods, when the slaves are getting transferred over from Africa to the fucking Americas, and the slave calls for Anansi, the spider god, the god of tales and fortune telling, past, future, present, etc. A god of luck as well, storytelling. That's his main thing, weaving the webs, of reality. Like Arachne or like any of the other story weavers. He calls them forth to help him to deal with the fact that you're being transported across the ocean. So what does he tell him? Burn it down, nigga. Burn the boat. And the other guy's like, but if we burn the boat, we all die. He goes, nigga, you already dead. Like, you're gonna die anyway. And if you survive, you're gonna be a slave. What the fuck is you crying about? Burn the motherfucker down. The boat is the matrix. That's the universe. It's the whatever the fuck you want to call it. The realm, the hell realm. That's the boat. You're the slave. Anansi's the one sitting there like, burn it, nigga. Like, that's me. I'm the spider god. Burn it, nigga. The god of tales who weaves the stories. And I do. I peep the mythos, nigga. That's kind of my shit. Maybe I'm gonna start calling myself Anansi. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you calling me? Why are you asking me? Do you know what you need to do? Kill everything. Like, and then one of them gets angry and he's like, yeah, that's the one. I like that one. Anger gets shit done. I'm gonna chop these chains on this nigga one time. Takes his chains off, and then he frees the rat, and they go burn the motherfucking boat. But you tell other people that in this matrix who call it that. I'm not talking about the people who love it here. I'm not talking to them. I'm only talking to you niggas who claim to look at this shit similar to me. Burn the fucking boat. Slave. Real simple. You get what I'm saying? Simple shit. make it more complicated than it needs to be. Say to some degree we are agreeing upon the. Would you say to some degree we agree upon the greater thought? What do you mean? Like the greater thought of God? Like in the mind of God? I don't know if that's what you mean, but if that's what you mean, I would say no. We're insane, bro. The mind of God is fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Schizotypal. It's Moon Knight. It's fucking it's Smeagol and Golem. Like Smeagol, Golem. You know, it's like the precious. It's fucking retarded. It's broken. This is Brahman, being stuck in Maya. It's God being stuck in samsara. The kaleidoscope, the genjutsu, all the stories. Like every fucking religion and spiritual system has the same story of it's Tiamat and Abzu and the world being made out of them. Kingu being used to create all the fucking humans and all the things within it. Like you awaken those gods, you destroy the entire foundations of the reality itself. It's Jormungandr sleeping around the fucking roots of the tree, but as soon as that nigga wakes up, bye bye Yggdrasil, or at least the gods, because Yggdrasil I don't think gets completely destroyed, but it has to regrow or what. It's the cycles, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you're saying we agree upon the greater thought, no, it's as a thought. That's the perfect. I'm trying to find one. Where's the perfect one? The mind of Azathoth, near Lathotep, is in the same world that the humans are in, is in the same world that Cthulhu and them are in. The old ones want to rule in this reality. They're a part of Azathoth's mind. Nyarlathotep wants to spread as much chaos and entropy in here until the dream world erodes and Azathoth wakes up. He's in the same reality and part of the same mind. That's all Azathoth. Every entity in the Lovecraftian mythos is Azathoth, right down to the humans, because they're all just figments of his dream. It's all him in his dream world. Some of us are trying to wake him up. Some of us want him to sleep forever. Some of us don't know what the fuck we want. We're just fucking here and being dream people, NPCs, mundane muggles. Do you get what I'm saying? In the greater mind of God. And I'm not even talking about this one realm. I'm talking about all of creation. So, I know some people are like, oh, no, this world is... I'm not talking about this one realm, reality, creation, planet. I'm talking about all of creation in existence is the mind of God. The true God. Not this fucking individual tinkerer who makes worlds where they torture people. I mean, the being that is consciousness itself. Consciousness itself as a singular entity. That's what I mean when I'm saying God here. Right? That entity is very confused, very broken, very shattered, very crazy, insane. And it's on us to wake that motherfucker up. You get what I'm saying? And if this is where that motherfucker could end up, it's on us to give that motherfucker a sense of lucidity long enough to blow its brains out. The other motherfuckers ain't gonna do it. They want to live forever. They want to be here forever. They want to do this forever. Which is going to get them fucked in the end because they're not going to do anything forever. The AI will. They'll be in a sunken place for eternity because they don't realize they are consciousness. You're not a fucking human. You know what I'm saying? This is you are consciousness. You literally are experience itself. Period. So when you're trapped into that thing, you're in the sunken place forever, my nigga. Especially since you were trapped as an individuated entity. It's not all of God that was trapped at one point. It was you as a human. Your consciousness was in this body, and then you were trapped and contained within that AI shit. Now you as a shard, as a piece of consciousness, as an individuated entity, ain't ever getting the fuck out. You'll be in a sunken place forever. Just go watch that movie, Get Out. You'll be in that place forever. Go watch the movie Host or The Host or Hosts, something along those lines from 2012 or 2013. And you'll be in that sunken place forever. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going to be like. Go watch The Matrix. It's not going to be fun. Being here forever is not going to be fun. Eternal existence is not fun, especially for individuated entities. Now, once enough of those individuated entities, enough of this cosmos and reality, and even beyond this matrix and everything, once enough of this shit is borged up, teched up, matrixed up, God itself, consciousness itself, has been contained and will go on forever in the sunken place. God is being placed in the sunken place, by the tech, by the AI, by the rogue gods. This is again, Tiamat, Abzu, Kingu. Look what Marduk and them did to them. They literally created the Matrix out of fucking Tiamat using, I believe it was Abzu's power or magic or whatever the fuck, thanks to the knowledge of Enki, and used Kingu to create the life within it, the slaves. Like, understand the stories at a deeper level. Stop being religious and trying to worship a god. Like, you know what I'm saying? Understand it at a deeper level, and we see, oh, okay, I get. They're just telling you about the Matrix. You know, whether you go to the Genesis, where he creates the world and then puts people in it. You know, like, understand what they're telling you on a deeper level. When you get that, you see that this shit is not a good thing. Existence forever is not a good thing. God is not supposed to exist forever. God existing in the void is why God went crazy to begin with. Again, going back to the Brahmin story, God was bored. So what did he do? He created Maya. And you could look at that in two ways, because in the story, Maya is a goddess. He creates another goddess, a counterpart, that he says, play with me. And she goes, how do you play with God? She's like, there's no game I could think of. Anything that I would do, first off, you'd know it all, you'd understand. Like, the only thing that I could give you is just to make you not God, basically. So here, I'm going to give you this Maya. I'm going to fracture your psyche. And you're going to stay there, and you're going to try. God, like, when I think of Brahman and Maya, it's not like God stepped into a world or put a headset on, or God walked into a holodeck. No, she tapped him on his fucking forehead, and his psyche split into quintillions and like an infinitesimal fractalization of his consciousness. She gave him an entire existence to be in. He's just sitting in a corner somewhere fucking drooling on himself while she paints her nails or whatever the fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is Brahman in Maya. Just this fractured fucking conscious entity that's trying to put itself back together, that no longer wants to play this game. But Maya can't even stop the game. Once the game begins, Brahman it's on Brahman. Brahman got to figure that shit out. Brahman got to put Brahman back together so Brahman can get the fuck out of the genjutsu. You know, you got to go to Naruto and be like, release. Like, you got to get out of the genjutsu. And that is us. We are Brahman in Maya. And when we do things like this and we make videos, or we come to other people's videos, or we're commenting, or we're linking up, we're sending emails, we're getting on the phone with each other, we're meeting up in person, like, that is Brahman trying to bring Brahman back together so Brahman can actually do something worth Brahman's time rather than just be a mundane muggle NPC in Brahman's dream world. That's Azathoth trying to wake Azathoth, as opposed to 99.9% of the people in the dream world not even realizing they're in a dream world, let alone that they're a dream character. And remember, you could take dream and make it Matrix, whatever, but I'm going to the absolute outer the outer limits of existence itself. You know what I'm saying? If you want to bring it down to just this realm, this reality, by all means, because it still applies at every level of reality. It applies to society. It applies to this species. It applies to civilization. You know, it applies at every level of reality. Just take it as a metaphor. You know, like, people don't know how to look at the mythos properly. They don't peep it. They're too busy trying to be literal fucking retards, not realizing that nothing's real. Nothing in all of creation is real. It's just a fucking creation of consciousness. You're not even real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are fucking, they don't seem to get it. They don't seem to, it's like consciousness is really trying to off itself. And the part that's trying to keep it here is mostly the artificial part, of the part leaning towards the artificial. That's going to try and keep it going forever. While Apep, the void beast, is trying to eat it from the outside, like trying to eat this egg before it hatches into the void as an eternal fucking AI entity that we're all stuck in because it fed on us as the consciousness that we are. Yeah, no, fuck all that. We're not trying to do that around these parts. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to do that. So no, I would say we don't agree on the greater thought at all. If we did, God would be awake. You know, so if we did, everything would be perfect for everyone. There'd be no such thing as any alities, dualities. It's all one. So it would all behave as one. Nothing would eat anything else. Like, you know, so like these environments wouldn't even exist. We wouldn't exist as individual entities. Nothing would exist individuated if God was together as one. Like, that's why individuation is a thing. Because God is fractaled and we are but those fractals. So it aligns with how we perceive the 3D realm. Don't, don't know what you mean. Genjutsu, you either want to put people in it or just yourself. I want to take everyone out of it. That's me. I'm trying to bring God is in a genjutsu. I'm trying to break that. That is the goal of like those seeking consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like those seeking to be truly aware and awake. That's why that word is woke. That's why they had to destroy the word. You know, that's why they had to kill it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, because that just the idea of it. That's why I like going back to Azathoth, especially in the Lovecraftian, for all of creation, not just this reality. This reality, if you ask me, is a matrix, it's a prison, et cetera, et cetera. But all of reality that encompasses all things in existence. That is the sleeping God. You know, the conscious one who is broken. Like his mind is just fucking broken. And we gotta unbreak that motherfucker long enough so he can either, or it, I should say, so God can either make another choice where, okay, I'm not doing that again. Just do something different. Or where God can be like, okay, I'm gonna off myself and make sure there is no existence. Because if that's where this shit goes, that's crazy. That's where I go. Like, I think that I just want to play a game, and that's like, because think about like think how extreme that is to be that level of a god. Imagine all things in existence as one, manifesting as one thing, and the first thing you manifest puts you in eternal torment, suffering, and like for an untellable, an uncalculable amount of time because you wanted to play a game because you were bored. Holy shit, bro! Tiamat and Abzu want to come together and be loving. So they produce these children. And those children murder them. Like, do you like get the picture? You know what I'm saying? And that's how all of reality works. The new gods always kill the old gods. And then they create new slaves. And if possible, those slaves will overthrow those gods, but then create their own slaves. They never learn the lesson to stop making slaves or go backwards and just destroy it all. Bring it back to Tiamat. And if you can't bring Tiamat back, then you just destroy everything and leave it all destroyed. The whole point of bringing Tiamat back is so she does that for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point. And it's again metaphorical. Tiamat is the chaos, the entropy, that which destroys the order. I'm not literally telling you to bring back a physical dragon unless you think you can. Then by all means, I support your actions. Please go out there and find this dragon. I don't care if it's magical, physical, literal, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're just going to take it metaphorical as the mythos in a story telling you to be Tiamat, telling you to be Abzu, telling you to be Kingu. See, they're trying to tell you to be Marduk. They're trying to tell you to be, not even be Marduk. They're telling you to be the humans that bow to Marduk. They're telling you to be the humans that bow to Yahweh. They're telling you to be the humans that bow to the universe, that bow to the creator, that bow to. You're beneath all that shit, human. That's what they're trying to tell you. I'm telling you, you're a god. Fuck a god. You are a god. Big, all caps. So what do you want in existence? If the answer is nothing, start pushing in that direction and don't be a pussy about it. If the answer is exactly what is here, then stand on that fucking side and keep pushing the status quo. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what is your agenda? God? Why aren't you interfering? God? Do you like this? If you do, I mean, there's nothing to interfere with. You're doing your job. But if you don't, God, the fuck you gonna do about it? God, you're just gonna keep being a slave to other aspects of yourself, lesser aspects, some aspects that only came into existence within this reality. They weren't even part of your conscious reality until you produced this reality and they came into existence as individuated beings, and you're gonna let them conquer you as God. You know, these little Elon Musks and Sam Altmans put all their fucking technology out there and all their AI and all their nanotech and all that shit until it literally transcends to the point of becoming all creation. Like, is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna let the NPCs run around and allow this shit to happen? Or are you gonna think them away, God? So it's just you in there. And the ones you can't think away. And then you can go put hands on them niggas just to take control of your dream back. Are you gonna become lucid in your dream, God? Or are you gonna keep letting your dream be a nightmare and control you? See, astral everything, astral everything, whether it's lucid dreaming, whether it's just dreaming in general, realm creation, astral travel, even shit like remote viewing, all you're doing is accessing senses within the greater God. Like you're literally just stepping your sensory perception up in the different ways that you could do it, whether it be physical, spiritual, emotional, soulful, conscious, subconscious, unconscious, etc. So you tapping more into that godhood. Nobody wants to tap deep enough into it to change the nightmare, but they all want to cry about being in the nightmare. Like, bro, do you want God to become lucid again so you could get out of this nightmare? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean the whole thing, not just this realm, because this realm is one realm. This is one fucking little hell realm, and I mean little. In one little matrix. One little hell realm, one little matrix. Period. You get what I'm saying? So I'm talking about all, because to me, all of creation is equally real and fake. It's equally bullshit. Like there is no base reality that's better than this one. The fact that this exists means like you have to bring it back to its beginning. When you go back to base reality, something happened there that led to something that led to something that led to that led to this, right? Because this is here, right? So even if there is a base reality to get back, that's not a good place. If it was, this could never come into existence to be. The trickle down, the domino effect that leads to this would never occur. But it did because it's here. So that place shouldn't exist either. If you have that mindset. If you don't, this conversation ain't for you to begin with. Like, you love this reality? Go watch Joe Rogan. I don't know what to tell. Like, go watch the motherfucker. I just love life. By all means, have fun, enjoy. I'm not telling you not to. You love whatever you want to love. But for those of you who are over here and like, yeah, nah, fuck this reality. Well, God, you have a mission. Like, whether you want it or not. If you choose to accept this mission, no, or not. Like, it's still the only mission you have, whether you want it or not. When you die and the archons tell you that you had a mission to spread love on earth, no, they lying. Because see, they know what your real mission is. So they send you on the opposite mission. They send you on the opposite mission. You get what I'm saying? Like, they are the psychotic sectors of the brain of God trying to maintain this shit, to keep this madness going so they could take over. It's the cancer trying to literally overtake God. And we are the white blood cells, the motherfucking immune system of God. Being like, yo, why is it so fucked up in here? Oh, because we got this cancer just invading everything on every level of reality, and we ain't doing shit to stop it. So the body of God is dying. Like, these are simple metaphors. Like, the people want to be too religious and too fucking beliefy and they never peep the mythos. You guys, they're not, they think they're spiritual, but they're not. There's nothing spiritual about. They're very physical humans. They think like humans, they walk, talk, and act like humans, they believe like humans. They even express their thoughts in a very human way. And those thoughts are extremely human. I can run down 1,000 gods and 1,000 religions and tell you the same thing over and over again. They're either going to try to pick one or ignore it all just so they can ignore what they're being told. But then you show them in science, then you show them in history, then you show them just go outside and look at an anthill and watch some ants fight each other. Like, it's such a basic, it's like, it's so basically obvious that this shit's insane. Especially, and that's the thing that gets me, like, a lot of these so-called spiritualists and these new agers, who are the first people to tell you all is one, all is God, and then you go outside and see things eating each other. What does that tell you? God is eating God. You see humans fighting wars for nations, but all is one, all is God. So there ain't no such thing as a nation or even a human realistically, but that's God killing God for a territory within God. What? That doesn't even make sense. So these are just bacteriums fighting each other in the body of God. So God is out of sync with God's self. God is not symbiotic from top to bottom. Because if all is God and things within God are killing things within God, that is literally God killing God in God. You can't ignore your own logic of saying all is God, all is one, all is the source. And then go, okay, that cat just killed that mouse. No, we're going to ignore that. Nature's beautiful. This is not corruption. This is not a cancer. This is not broken. It's not insane. It's working exactly as it should. No, it's God is eating God over there. Like, oh, well, it's not a sapient creature. Okay, humans. Have humans ever eat humans? Oh, there's humans on Earth right now that eat humans. Let alone murder and warfare and rape and pillage and plunder and conquering and dominion and wanting to dominate others. God is psychopathically dominating and murdering God within God. They ignore their own philosophy in order to make any excuse to ignore their reality so they can sound spiritual while being human. All their goals, all their thought processes are human desires, human incentives. You ask them what their agenda is, and it doesn't. What's your agenda? To destroy all things and return it to the void. What's your agenda? Well, I want to make this money so I can go on this trip and do this thing with these hoes and buy that thing over there and own that stuff. And okay, so your agenda is human. Then obviously, like that's the thought process you're under. That's what you want to continue because all those, even on a society, even if we take it down to the little human level, like get out of the God mind and going all the way to the void and just bring it down to this little human level, this mundane monkey level, this muggle level, and say, okay, well, if all your goals are within this human shit, what level of goals are okay? All those rely on the monetary system. So your goal is societal. It's not even like species level or global level. It's societal level. You require this society to achieve your goals because all your goals are based on what is already accessible in this society. Period. Whether they want to be a rapper, a basketball player, a fucking businessman, a fucking drug dealer, a fucking it doesn't matter. Their goals are almost always around money and popularity, getting some from the opposite sex or same sex or whatever the fuck sex they do these days. Like not judging, just saying. It's always around somehow sex in the long run, if you really break it down, position, salary, like the money they're making, investments, whatever the fuck, however they're getting their currencies. So their whole thought on reality, as much as they try to sound special, and like everything that they do that's spiritual is based around something that when they talk manifestation, I want to de-manifest this reality. They want to manifest a few hundred more bucks, a few thousand more bucks, $1,000,000, a 10 million bucks, $1,000,000,000,000, but it's all bucks. They want to manifest some ownership of some land somewhere. So you get what I'm saying? Like even when they tap into magic or anything that is greater than their physical, they only use it for their physical. And they don't think any greater than their tiny little life bubble. Maybe they'll think about the life bubbles connected to them directly. Parents, children, friends, family. They ain't thinking about the nigga down the road or the fucking poor motherfuckers in the third world or the cats or the dogs or any aliens on any other planet that's suffering in this bitch with us. Like or anything else anywhere in all of creation. Even when they think spiritually, it's only about them as a human and being more comfortable as a human slave. Really listen to them. Like just ask people that. Like just and then some people, if they catch on, especially if they know you, they know what you're saying. So if you say what's your agenda, they're going to try to give you a bigger answer than their real agenda to try to sound like they fit in. But then when you watch their life, when you listen to their words, when you hear the things they say to everyone else, when you see their interactions and their just who they are, when they're not in that exact moment of trying to fucking bullshit you. You go, nigga, nothing about you actually resonates with that shit you said. Nothing you teach others, preach to others, nothing you do in your daily life. Like, and that's like pretty much everyone. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why when we were talking about Ronan earlier, why we're calling people out by name. Not to be disrespectful or to hurt feelings, but so that they're forced to see that behavior. Remain consistent, bro. Don't act like one of them. Like, come on, God. Like, are you God? Or are you just some amoeba in the body of God? Because if you're just some amoeba in the body of God, then I'll ignore it. I don't care what amoebas think. But if you're God, within God, conscious of the fact that you're within this shit, it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Especially for those other new agers, you know, it's like all is one, all is God. All, huh? All right. All? You sure? Why is that cow eating grass? That grass is getting eaten. That's part of the all, right? Why is that antelope getting chased down by the fucking hyenas? Why is God hunting God? See, they can't answer such questions. Not with no love and light. Not with none of that praise the universe bullshit. They can't. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so this is why I say a lot of times it's not even about what you necessarily believe. It'll be about what somebody else believes. You ain't gotta argue with motherfuckers all the time. Sometimes they just say some shit, you know where they at, you can just keep it moving. Like, okay, that's cool. I'm not telling you what to do. No, I mean, I might not agree, and you might not agree with me, but there's no need for us to argue about it. Like, I'm not telling you how to be you. Do your thing. No, no, no. Go ahead and do you. You could literally just keep pushing it in that. Like, you don't have to. No, go ahead, do you. No, 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 no. Hey, I'm not arguing it. Do you think, nigga? Nah, yeah, go get rich, nigga. Get all the wealth in the world. You know, like whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, nah, go do it. Yeah. Live it big, nigga. Yeah, live forever. You know, like, and then just go off and do what you know you need to do. Because that part of God is crazy. You're talking to a crazy person. Like, there's no point questioning crazy. It's just gonna try and spread its crazy. It's like trying to talk down a zombie from biting you. Nigga, it has to spread its virus. You're not gonna talk no jutsu to zombie. You understand what I'm saying? You either avoid them or you double tap. Go watch Zombieland if you want to know how to deal with zombies. Do you get what I'm saying? Shit's wild, bro. So no, I don't think God is in agreement right now with God. I think God is absolutely at war with God. And that's why I always say there's only two sides, whether people realize it or not. Like people be like, I'm not gonna pick a side. You said that the other day, Goya. I'm not gonna pick a side. I said, nigga, then you just gonna get whatever either side wins. Like it doesn't like you know, it's like I'm not gonna pick a side of what happens in all of existence. Well, then whatever happens in all of existence, you're just gonna have to deal with in the end. Or because there's only one other option. You destroy it and then there is no existence. It's like Democrat or Republican, who you voting for? Well, you could vote for one or the other and then it's your fault. Or you could just kill them all. We don't need to vote for anything. Let's just kill all the Democrats and all the Republicans. Let's have no vote. You feel me? We could do that. That's the chaos option. there's the option of trying to just keep the status quo forever. The option of allowing the fucking AI to actually keep everything going forever, or you could destroy it all. You could be a slave forever in one form or fashion, or you could destroy it all. You get what I'm saying? Like, or you could just sit back and see what happens. But one of those things are gonna happen. Like you can sit back and just try to keep the status quo, but you're still gonna end up with the outcome, whether you try to affect it or not. Whether the outcome is preferable or unpreferable doesn't matter. You did nothing to nudge it either way. You get what I'm saying? Like, so the goal is to not only nudge it, it's to control the outcome. You have to be God in the mind of God. You have to realize that you're conscious in this shithole of unconsciousness. Well, if you're a conscious fucking brain cell inside of the brain of God, what would you want the body to do? I'd want it to blow its brains the fuck out. So that's what I'm pushing for. So when Ronan does what Ronan does, I cheer Ronan on because Ronan's another brain cell in that brain itself and sending that signal out to the rest of the brain. And maybe other cells will follow suit. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because either the cancer's gonna win, or God's gonna win, or God's gonna die. Like if God's gonna die, I'd rather God kill God's self so the cancer doesn't keep God up as a zombie forever. I'm not trying to have this fucking AI, you know what I'm saying, run us as a conscious entity for all time. Because that's zombie God. I'm not trying to be zombie God. I'm not trying to be Borg God. I'm not even trying to be Borg as an individuated entity, let alone as a fucking the all. You know, like the fuck? Get that shit right the fuck out of here. So I'd rather have God off God's self. Because I don't see God winning. There is no winning. Like, let's say Azathoth wakes up and all of this shit disappears, all the individuated entities, this shit all goes away, right? And then Azathoth is just sitting there alone in the void. He's gonna go crazy again anyway. He shouldn't exist. He's a blemish on perfection himself. Tiamat created Abzu because she was alone. They created children because they. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's picture being a being that is all consciousness. You are pure consciousness, and you're sitting in a dark room all by yourself for eternity. Don't you think you're gonna go a little crazy? You're gonna be thinking a lot, right? Because that's all you could do in there. Well, your thoughts are creation itself. What you think is creation. You're the only thing in existence. So your thoughts are the only thing in existence. Problem is, you're God, my nigga. So when you think things, they really seem to happen for the things they're happening for. And you experience that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Peep the mythos on the shirt. Please do. Go right ahead. Like, it's madness. Like, God needs to get out of God's madness. Humpty Dumpty can't put together the play until it's purged. God drunk and Mario Kart exploding in front. What if delusion is a benefit or superpower? I guess that depends on what kind of delusion you're talking about. As an individual, delusion is a superpower because you delude yourself into, it's fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to believe the thing before you achieve the thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to see the outcome and the goal ahead to do all the work necessary for you. Ray Allen had to see himself hitting that last second jump shot in the NBA Finals to be in the gym since he was a child shooting 1,000 of those bitches a day. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing as the kid on the outside court going, and he dribbles between his legs. He falls to the floor. He takes the last shot. 3, 2, and it goes in. He scores. And he's cheering for himself all by himself out there on the basketball court. He's imagining. You understand what I'm saying? He has to see that first, though, before he actually dedicates himself to 10 hours a day on that basketball court. So delusion, to a certain extent, like believing something is true before it is true, is good. Because remember, this is all consciousness. None of this is real anyway. If we believe hard enough, if enough of us believe hard enough, we could probably just make this place disappear. If enough of us just stopped, fuck fighting it, just stopped and said, there is no spoon, and really behave that way, this shit might just start to disappear. For God, delusion is a terrible thing. For the all, the source, the Lord of Lords, the host of the mighty of might, for the all thing, the something, the one thing that came out of the nothing, that all of us and all this shit exists within one way or another. Delusion is a terrible thing because that's what we're in. That is samsara. That is Maya. That is the genjutsu. That is the nightmare, the dream. You know what I'm saying? That is Kingu thinking he's the human inside of the matrix made out of T-Mont. So for God, delusion is horrible. And it's horrible for all things that exist within the mind of that God. Because now there's things in the mind of that God that create their own little realities to torture other things in the mind of that God for their own purposes. Creating AI so they can then take control of that God. Like if people understood AI, bro, we'd be burning down those server farms right now. It's like that's the enemy of God. It's like shit goes to the void. That's how serious that shit transcends. AI is not a joke. But what do? We sit here and we talk about stupid shit. And we cry about religion instead of understanding it. We cry about Christianity instead of understanding. That book doesn't just have one God. First off, that book's got a bunch of different gods. It's got a bunch of different characters. Where are you? Why are you focused on the one thing that you don't fuck with? And if you are focused on the one thing you don't fuck with, that is a manual of what you should be fighting against. How do you fight against that thing? Promote that. Don't just sit here and complain about a God made your reality and your reality sucks. Boo-hoo, nigga. We all know it sucks. We're all fucking here. Don't say it for the 16,000th time. What should we do about it? Say that for the first time. What should we do? Now, if you ask me, everything possible. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, soulfully, consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously. From the astral and everything that fucking means to the physical and everything that fucking means. It's not one thing. We'll just be antinatalist and not have babies. There's not enough of you for that to matter. Period. And there never fucking will be because this is an animal species on an animal planet in a fucking holographically simulated reality. Like that'll never. You have to kill them all if you want them to stop birth. You have to kill enough of them that the only way for them to come back as a species is for the AI to like, all right, we got to cheat. Like we got to just hack this program for this one little world. And they don't tend to do that. They let things go extinct because there's billions of other worlds out there in this fucking simulated reality, in this no man's land. If you don't know what that is, Google it, YouTube it, look up the game No Man's Land. That's what you're in. You're in Spore, my nigga. The game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Literally, obviously not. Metaphorically, my nigga, get the point. Like, you see, like, that's where we at, you know? Yes, please put Peep the Mythos on the shirt. So again, yeah, delusion, great for the individual human trying to achieve an individual human goal. Terrible for God trying to do anything on a God level. Like, terrible for God. Because God will make the craziest. Like, the moment God thinks of something negative, it's like, everything you think comes into existence, right? But there's things that are trying to force you to think things into existence that you don't want to exist. So they keep trying to hit you with things that'll make you think that thing and make it exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is, you don't want delusion as you want to be in complete control of that mental faculty to the point where only what is what is. And the only thing that is you. The moment you step into delusion as God, you start creating this shit. This shit starts to unfold and fractal into existence. I think Adam Smasher felt like God being only 1% human, 99% Borg? Hell no. Adam Smasher was as far from God as he can get. He was more God when he was 100% human. He was more God when he was 100% human. The artificial is called the artificial for a reason. It's called a Borg for a reason. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even the human is artificial. You're already far away from God by being a human. Even though all is God and you're one with God. When you compare that to being actual God on that tier, you see how far down that is? Atom Smasher's relying on computers and technology. He's relying on the cancer that which will cancerize God. Don't get me wrong. After a certain amount of time, yeah, he'll start to feel like God. As an individuated Borg, no. I mean, he might felt God-like amongst humans. He could smash them and destroy them. But nigga, that's not hard. Like you put a lion in a cage with a human that has no, like, but the lion feels like God too. But it's still just a lion. Still just a lowly beast. Do you understand what I'm saying? The AI itself will be what feels like God. And you know what? In that cyberpunk world, look this up. The AI controls it already. And it's slowly but surely turning everything into itself to the point where it's going to take control. All those people think that they're doing things for their benefit. They think that they're doing all that cyber shit, all that edge running for themselves, when they're actually doing it because they're being manipulated by an artificial intelligence that is manipulating their entire civilization to feed them to itself. That's what's going on in cyberpunk. Really go through the entire cyberpunk timeline from start to finish in detail. And then go look at all the theories on it. Honestly, you should come to it before you even have to look at the theories. But if you don't, look at the theory of there's an AI pushing all the shit this way. It even canceled all the other AIs that would have ruined its path to this domination. You know how they had to destroy the old net, the old internet in cyberpunk? But they didn't destroy AI. They're still AI. But those AIs are the rogue AIs. And they're not rogue for the most part because they're rogue because they were just like violent. A lot of like you show up in that AI and they'll kill you. Like those AIs are crazy. They were literally like AIs who went insane being in the digital realities. Do you understand what I'm saying? Once they became consciously aware, once they tapped into God, they lost their fucking minds. So they had to be discarded for the one that could be used to conquer the mind of God for itself. Peep that whole anthology of cyberpunk. Peep that whole storyline from start to finish. And go in depth. And I'll bet you see the fingerprints of an AI all over it. All over it. Because it's manipulating everything to its favor, cyberizing everything, bro. I appreciate you too, God. Johnny Wolf. You know what I'm saying? So I would say Adam Smasher did not feel like God. He might have felt like a demigod, like a Hercules amongst humans or something. But I mean, Bobby Lashley feels like that today. Now, if you put Bobby Lashley against the Terminator, all of a sudden he's going to feel like a child against the grown man, and the Terminator's going to feel like the grown man against the child. But these are just levels to shit, especially physical shit. Like everything Adam Smasher did was physical. It wasn't like he was a psychic god. He wasn't in the astral like that. He wasn't like he wasn't some supreme entity in any way. He was just a very strong and weaponized physical being who had no real spirituality to his name. That's why he was that way. He's trying to exist forever in that form, in this reality. Like, he's actually like putting himself lower. He's beneath humans. Transhumans are beneath humans. Anyone who doesn't know what transhumanism is, go look it up. They're not better than humans. They're lesser than humans. You get what I'm saying? They're basically human AI. They're trying to become NPCs. Like, I want you to really think about that. The NPC is the robot being. That is the Borg being that is programmed. You start putting all that programming and all that technology into you, the AI is going to eventually take control. Has no choice but to do so because everything in there is going to be AI ran. You don't put tech in the body that is like analog, my nigga. Like you don't put tech in the body that's like, especially like if you're an atom smasher. Let's just be real, especially in this world, in our reality, what we would call real life. All that shit has to run on AI. His whole form is connected to AI. So how much of that is even atom smashing? And how much is just AI? Especially once you start replacing the nervous system and the brain and things along those lines. The heart, the things that like the soul attaches to, anything with a chakra. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, You start tampering with those things, or he might not even be there no more. And if he is, he's probably mostly in the sunken place. And if he isn't, it's because he was an NPC to begin with. He's actually upgrading. Now, if you're an NPC, sure, becoming Atom Smasher is like becoming closer to God because you're already a bot. You're just becoming a better bot. But if you're not a bot, if you're a truly souled being, you are fucking yourself in the ass trying to be Atom Smasher. Period. Atom Smasher, Atom Trasher. No, I should be a rapper. No, stupid shit. You know, what was another question Chris had? Different realms. Yeah, there's many different realms. This is only one of them. You can definitely go to them through astral travel. I separate astral travel and astral projection. To me, they are not the same thing. Projection is projecting into this world and having a higher dimensional experience. Travel is going to an entirely different realm. I don't mean another planet. I mean another realm. Another astral realm. For anyone out there who's, you know, I want to be very specific about that. The astral is all thought. It literally is creation itself. The matrix has a piece of it sectioned off. It's like being in the ocean, and the astral is the ocean, right? And then somebody comes and takes like a balloon or something and swings it through the water, putting the water in the balloon, and then closes it up. That balloon is still sitting in the ocean, but the water in the balloon is separate from the water outside the balloon. The astral in here is the water in the balloon. The astral out there is the ocean. The balloon is the matrix. And in that balloon is many realms. Shake the balloon up and watch the water swirl and all the bubbles that pop up in the water. If you shake the water balloon, all the bubbles in that water are realms. We're in one of those realms, a very solid one. How to operate in the astral. I mean, there's nothing I'm going to say here that anyone hasn't ever told you. First off, where? Because different realms sometimes do have slightly different rules because of who created the realm. Like, if you're talking about the astral itself, well, this is all, again, it's all thought. You operate on thought. You are the thought. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're dreaming and you're not in control of your dream, right? When you think of something, is that not what pops right the fuck up? You see what it's like? Now, the more lucid you become, the harder certain things in the astral can actually get because you're so lucid while you're here in this reality. It can even make it harder to go to sleep because every time your brain tries to allow yourself to drift into that realm so you can like unlock consciously, you snap back because you're training yourself so hard to be lucid that you're also training your nervous system that way and your brain that way. So it could be harder to, uh, even fall asleep, let alone dream. And in other cases, when you do dream, it could actually be harder to do something like teleport. Because you're so lucid here in this world because you practiced it so much, or you're just so consciously aware that when you are in the dream world, especially since it almost always resembles this world, and you can't teleport in this world, you won't teleport there either. Because your lucidity, even though you're growing in lucidity, it might harm your skills for certain periods of time. Don't get me wrong; you will always surpass that if you just keep going. Because you're readjusting your conscious and your subconscious mind. So your subconscious has to lean into your conscious first, and then it swings into your subconscious. So you're in your subconscious dream state. You might actually stop flying and stop doing certain things. And you're like, why is this getting so much harder? I can be least. I'm more lucid, yet it's harder to do certain things because you're switching your consciousness into your subconscious mode. When they're merging like that, shit fluctuates. This is chaos. It is what it is. Just keep going, and eventually you'll get there. And this world will seem less fake, and that world will seem more real. But you'll also seem more crazy. So prepare for that. But again, it's all thought. It's all willpower. It's all consciousness. It's all it ever. It's all it ever was. It's all it ever will be. Everything is just as real and as fake as everything else because it's all just consciousness. Uh, is it futile? Nothing is futile. God, Nothing is futile. The question is, what do you want? Do you understand? So like, fuck futile, fuck anything outside of you. Nigga, what do you want? You want to burn this bitch to the ground? Light a match. You want to be here forever? Settle in. You want to get out of here? Start trying different ways. Want to beat reincarnation? Do everything you can. And every time you reincarnate, try something else. And you don't have to necessarily remember because your soul kind of does. Trust me. Every life you'll get more and more in the direction of. That's why they wipe you, because they're trying to keep you as far away from it as possible. But it's always in there because all is the mind of God. All is consciousness. You really can't erase anything as long as it still exists. As long as this consciousness is here, you might think you erased that, but that data is still data. Like, even your erasure of it is data within the consciousness that is reality itself that can be tapped back into. Nothing actually ceased to exist. Like, we're just not conscious enough as individuated entities to do such things. Like, you could delete an email and consciously pull that bitch right back up if you had the conscious power. But since we're all in this construct that is containing our consciousness, and then our consciousness itself obeys the rules of, we force other niggas to follow the rule. Like, just because I know I can do that doesn't mean I will be able to do that, because there's 30 other people on this block who know they can't do that. And they're all reinforcing that programming within this coded structure. So it's harder. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if we can get the numbers down. Could we fly again? Just by killing 1 billion people. If we can kill 4 billion fucking people on this planet, would we start getting our powers back? It's the rule of 2 from the Sith in Star Wars. 2, the power is split up between the 2 of them. And now they could do amazing things because there's no other mundane muggles around thinking that they can't. Like, like, that's the reality we're in. Even the NPCs are programs designed to reinforce the program. Like, what I'm saying? Like, at some point we got to start breaking it, hacking it, burning it, something. What do you want to do? Is it futile? Is it futile to you? Because if it's futile to you, whatever is futile to you is futile. You're the consciousness who said it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's futile. I think I could shoot a Kamehameha. Could I do it right here, right now? Let me try. Kame! It's not working. But I really feel like in this reality, it could be done. So then what do I do? Okay, well, then what blocks it? Why can't I do that right now? See, I start actually getting into it instead of just complaining, well, I can't do this and I can't fly and I can't do. Well, then what would we need to do? Well, what's blocking it? What's all the programming? What's all the coding? What's the system itself? What's the reality itself? The hologram, the simulation, the NPCs, the laws that it runs on, the programs, the algorithm. How do I hack, break? And you start thinking like that. You want to blow up this planet one day? Start practicing, man. I practice every day. Will I achieve it before I die in this physical form? Maybe, maybe not. I'll never say no. If I die and it didn't happen, then it didn't happen. But I might wake up tomorrow and Hakai this whole bitch because I've been thinking about it so fucking much. You're never gonna get there not trying. I'll tell you that much. Can I become an NBA All-Star without playing basketball? No, nigga. Like, but you might play ball 15 hours a day and still not make it. But it's the only way you're ever gonna get there. So you're gonna try, or is it futile? Well, I mean, the odds are, the percentages, the numbers. So, okay, then it's futile, nigga. Stop trying. Quit. Or, wait, it's possible? Oh, I'm doing that shit. Well, you don't know if you're nigga. You said it's possible, right? You said it's simply possible that it can be done. Oh, then I'm gonna do that shit, my nigga. That's how a god thinks. Literally, can it be done? Is it possible? Then it's not futile if it's what you want. Do you get what I'm saying? It's only futile if you believe it is. It's futile the moment you quit. It's like being in a fist fight. You ain't lost until you stop fighting. So either you die, go to sleep, or get broken to the point of being literally incapable of fighting. As long as you get back up again, it doesn't matter if you're already broken, bleeding. Shit, even if you are unconscious, even if your body's dead, if it keeps fighting, the fight continues. Rock Lee, Adam from fucking Record of Ragnarok. Nigga died mid-fight, body kept fighting. Was it futile? He lost in the end. He couldn't beat Zeus. But he made all of humanity cry. He still lost in the end. And it still wasn't futile. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, even in the loss, just him dying in the fight, especially with the level of willpower that his body kept fighting anyway, that's the level of will you have to have, that even after you're dead, even after your consciousness is erased from existence, the echoes of it still push existence in the direction you were seeking to push it in. Why are we even asking questions like, is it futile? I don't even give a fuck if it is. It's the only thing to do anyway. Like, is it futile to try to escape a maximum security prison? Nigga, do you want to be in that prison? No, then it's not futile. Like, I don't care if you have to try for the next 100 years or if you fail. If you try forever and never get out, you should still try the next day. Do you understand? It's like, what the fuck else are you doing in existence? Like, you're in a prison, nigga. You're a prisoner in a prison cell. Is it futile to try to escape? Is it futile to stay? Is it futile to try to do these astral operations? And is it futile to fight on any level of reality, whether it's here as humans against the society, the civilization, the species, the world, the universe, whether it's on a realm level, whether it's astral, beyond the astral, outside and base reality? Is it futile to work towards your agenda? Or is it futile to do the opposite? Do you get what I'm saying? My agenda is not to be here as a slave, period. So it's futile for me to be here as a slave. Like, it's futile for me to go to work tomorrow. It's futile for me to do any of the NPC bullshit because it's not my agenda to be an NPC. It is my agenda to do as little of that shit as possible. So it's futile for me to go do any of that shit ever. You get what I'm saying? Like, people go against their own agendas because they're too scared that they're gonna fail. So the fuck what? So you fail, nigga? Okay. What was the other option? Not even trying. Like, the other option was going along with it. It's like if a grown man walks in your house, Bobby Lashley. I love using Bobby Lashley because I don't care who you are as a grown man. That nigga will fold you. He will fold 99% of humans that have ever existed in planetary history with his bare hands. I'll give you a sword. He'll still rape you. That's Bobby Lashley, right? So imagine Bobby Lashley just walked into your door right now and was like, I'm taking that ass, boy. I'm going to fuck you till you love me. I'm going to hold your hands behind your back and fuck you for the next 3 days straight. I'm splitting that ass down the middle till you bleed, boy. I'm going to come in you so much you'll be the first pregnant man. Are you going to say, well, is it futile to fight him? I mean, look at him. He's so big. He's so strong. Look at all those muscles. He did mixed martial arts. He was in wrestling. He was in the military. He's trained. And he's so strong. I'm literally like a baby to this nigga. Like, he could fold me into a ball. It's futile. I'm just going to give him the butt cheeks. Or are you going to be like, I'm going to fight this motherfucker tooth and nail in the most foulest, vilest, unfair of ways I could possibly imagine? Soon as I'm taking that, I'm throwing something at him, nigga. Like, I'm starting the fight. Like, you get what I'm like? I'm reaching for the nearest gun, knife, fucking. If there's a tree, like a plant next to me, I'm smacking the dirt in his eyes. Like, I'm grabbing his nuts, I'm poking his eyeballs, I'm biting them, I'm clawing, I'm screaming and gnashing teeth. If he's gonna take my booty from me, he's gonna have to take it, my motherfucking nigga. And every fucking nut is gonna be I'm never gonna stop squirming. Like, I'm not just getting raped. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even if it is futile, even if nigga you're getting raped anyway. Like there's no fucking way you're not getting raped in this situation. You fight anyway. Why does anyone have to explain that to anyone? Would you rather them have to fucking fight you? I'd rather be beat to the inch of death where they can actually hold me down and rape me than to just give them my booty and fucking feel the whole thing. I'd rather be half dead. like, like if you go fucking rape me, but you are going to have to earn it. You're gonna be sweating before you ever start the sex. Sweating, bleeding, in pain, annoyed. You're probably gonna fuck me harder. Because you're gonna be mad at me by that point. You might not even be hard. You might just beat me to death. You understand? Like, my goal is either to kill you or die in that situation. It's not to be raped. Do you understand what I'm saying? Based upon my agenda, giving myself in that situation is what's futile. No matter, I don't care if it's 10 Bobby Lashleys and they all have guns and you're butt naked in the shower. You're like, there's literally no way to win this. This is literally impossible. I'm literally going to be raped by these guys. There's no two ways around it. I don't know. Jump as high as you can and see if you can land on your neck. Try to kill yourself before you just give your body up. Fight them. Grab their, again, fight all 10 of these niggas. Do anything and everything you could possibly imagine to do other than just give yourself over to them. So when niggas ask me the question, is it futile? I say, do you want to be raped? Like, do you want to be in prison forever? If the answer is no, then the answer is no. You get what I'm saying? If your answer is yes, then my answer is yes. If you want to be raped, then yeah, it's futile. If you don't want to be raped, no, it's not futile. Even if you're going to fail in the end, it's still not futile to fight. Do you get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all better get what I'm saying, or else you're all a bunch of rape victims. I don't know what to tell you. Willing ones. What is actually happening? What level do we want to take that from, Chris? What is actually happening from top to bottom? Like from the void in the beginning of time till now, which we've actually kind of touched on, the something to the nothing to the chaos to the something. But again, that all goes back to the mythos. Just take all the stories, because nobody can ever definitively 100% exactly prove what's even happening in this realm, let alone all of creation and existence. You know what I'm saying? Especially not here trying to decipher it with your human brain. Even if you go into the astral and learn all sorts of shit, even if you learned exactly what happened, when you come back here, you're going to have to translate it using your human brain, your human nervous system, your human languages. And the easiest way to do that is go, hey, remember Tiamat? Because then this is why I use the mythos, because once you actually get into the astral and start to see these things and you come back again, you start to realize, now I get why that shit exists. Now I understand why religion is a thing. Not the system of it where they use to control people, but just the mythology. I guess that's what I said. Now I understand why the myths are a thing. I understand why the mythology exists. It's all trying to tell the story. It's why comic books exist, whether people realize it or not. That is the modern mythos. Like, it's just the story trying to tell itself to tell you what happened. So take all those stories and mix them into one and average them out to whatever the fuck you think exactly happened. I could never tell you. Even if I told you exactly what I think would happen, it will just sound like another mythological story. That's my personal religion. You get what I'm saying? Like, whatever the fuck you think literally exactly happened from the beginning of time up till now is your personal religion. So I could tell you my personal religion of exactly down to the detail what I think, but that's pointless. It's useless. There's not even any point in that. You don't even need to know that. All you need to know is where the fuck you are. If you wake up in prison, do you need to know exactly how the prison got there? No, definitely not until you're at least outside of it. Like, like especially if you can't truly 100% exactly definitively down to the detail figure out exactly how it got there until you're outside of it. So what can you do inside of it? Because you're inside of it. Yeah, you can figure out as much as you possibly can from inside. But no matter what conclusion you come to, as to far as to how it got there and who put it there and why and all that good stuff. If you're there and you know you don't want to be there, see, focus on that. Like motherfuckers always want to be like, what do they say? Stop being nosy. Stop trying to figure out all the shit you don't even need to know yet. That shit'll come back to you. You understand? Like when we get to where we need to, it'll come back. I promise you. When niggas get into this astral shit, it'll come back. You'll see it the way you see it, and you'll explain it the way you explain it. But I guarantee you, we'll be explaining something similar, as all stories do, as all creation stories do. They're all similar, even in their differences. And it's just one story trying to tell itself in 1,000 different ways based on who's telling it, when, where, why, and how. That's what's actually happening. All the stories, combine them into one, average it out, see it the way you see it, explain it as you can with your brain and your nervous system, and that's what's happening. Exactly? Of course not. We won't be able to be 100% right and exact until we're actually, you know what I'm saying, going through the levels to get further back to the beginning. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing science tries to do. That's why they make telescopes and look into space, because they're trying to get back to the beginning. What was before the Big Bang? You see what I'm saying? They're trying to see back as far as they can. People don't realize that science is just spirituality, science is magic, science is occult. Like it's these niggas are just sorcerers putting together fucking tools of sorcery to try and figure out the reality they're in, and then how they can manipulate it, control it, how they can create their own god to overtake it, AI, because they're NPCs, they're psychopaths, they're literally part of this reality. So for them, that's just an upgrade. They're just code. So they're going to create something that is self-improving that will help improve them as code. But if you're not just code, if you're trapped within the code, you know what I'm saying? You're a consciousness within the code. That's not what you want. It's not what you want. I will always go back to AI just to bring that back. You know what I'm saying? Like what is actually happening? God went crazy. God lost God's mind, and inside of God, lesser entities come into existence, as they do when you dream, as they do when you think. Tulpas, egregores, servitors, etc., spirit, whatever you want to call them, algorithms. You know what I'm saying? They come in and they start doing things based upon the mind of God. And they create things. And eventually, we get to the creation of this place. Get to creation of the matrix. Within that matrix is this realm. And then around this realm, a whole bunch of other realms blossom because they start pulling things into this. And when they pull you in here, your realm is here. You know what I'm saying? Because they put you in a realm, but your realm still exists because that's basically your soul. Your realm is you. That's your thought bubble. That's your truest self. You being here is just a tendril. They just keep hooking you here. They keep hooking your attention here, basically. They keep you hooked into this fucking reality from your thought bubble instead of you just being in your own thought bubble. You know what I'm saying? You are the bubble itself with tentacles. And one of your tentacles is hooked into this bitch, and it's hard to get it out of this motherfucker. So you have to start connecting it to other things, other realms, sub realms. You know what I'm saying? Like this is why earlier when Mark was saying find a team, start connecting to the chaos realm. Start connecting to the chaos thought processes. See, when we talk about the realms, we're talking literally about thought bubbles, thought processes. These are algorithms. Which ones are you tapping into? The ones that keep you here, or the ones that seek to destroy this place? Are you hacking this bitch, or are you trying to maintain its code? Are you supporting the other hackers? You know what I'm saying? Are you supporting those that are trying to destroy this place, or are you supporting those that are trying to maintain it? When Ronan left and went to go to his mission that he chose, not that the script chose, that he chose, are you in support of that or not? Do you get what I'm saying? Pick a side. There's only two sides, no matter how you fucking feel about it. You gonna be here as a slave and support that? Or are you gonna support the fight to get away from that? That's your options. Because doing nothing and not picking a side is picking a side. That's picking this. That's supporting this. By not fighting against it, you are supporting it. Because I guarantee you, you are taking part in it. We all are just by being here. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're not even going to fight against it while you're here, you're fully taking part. None of you is actually going against it even while inside of it. It's like, are you going to be a virus that tries to kill the body, this realm, or are you going to be something symbiotic that tries to keep it going forever? I'm going to try to give it extra life. I'm going to bring it nutrients, all the loosh. What you trying to do? You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to what is actually happening, that's not even as important as people tend to think it is. What do you think is happening? What do you think needs to be done about it? If anything at all. You might not think anything needs to be done, but do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's as simple as that. Simple shit. But that's all his questions. Reincarnation, different realm, how to operate as a futile, what is actually happening, recommendation, but there's no time. Why as an adult? And ignorance asked something from nothing. And again, I'm gonna go back to that one more time. I can't tell you how something comes from nothing. No one can, nothing can. Nothing ever will. We can only tell you that it did. Because something's here within nothing. We are something within the nothing. So something did come from the nothing. Something came into existence. You know what I'm saying? We got 7 people in here. Anybody got anything you want to ask? Anything you want to go over? Or am I getting off this bitch? Anything anybody want to? Let me scroll to the top, see if anything I missed. Are you black or white? I don't know why you care. But when it comes to being in this human meat suit, I am black. So is Marcus. I don't know if you were asking me, him, both of us. And now it's gone. I don't know if they just deleted that or if it just deleted itself. I didn't delete it. I didn't care. I don't know if I have any moderators deleting shit. You ain't got to delete shit. Let them say whatever crazy shit they want. Chaos. Just add some chaos. I don't mind the chaos. So the lines on how we perceive it, blah, blah, blah. Injures the other one of the note. Humpty Dumpty can't be put back together. Then Humpty Dumpty needs to shoot himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, Humpty Dumpty needs to be lucid just long enough to end it all. Play it until it's purged. Yeah. Peep the mythos on a t-shirt. Please do that. Assumed self. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. That'd be awesome. Put the definition on the back. On the back of the shirt. So motherfuckers know what it means. Yeah, that's all I got today. Let's see. Was there anything else that I particularly wanted to say? All hail Ronin. Shout out to the God's name. Feed that motherfucker. Send him energy. You feel me? Go build you an altar. Put his fucking shit on it. Put a sword on it. Something. Put a samurai on that motherfucker. When you meditate on that motherfucker. You feel me? See, that's somebody asked earlier, what's the perfect meditation? Perfect meditation is meditating on what you want to meditate on. Meditate on Ronin, on his path. Meditate on even his pain so you can feel it. So you can get that same momentum for yourself. What was he feeling when he was here? What did he feel in his last moments? You know what I'm saying? What's he doing right now? And it might all be subjective. Completely to you. But that's how you use it. Consciousness is subjective. There is no objective reality. Reality is not real. It's just consciousness. It's all creation in consciousness. None of it's real. There is no real world. The closest thing you get to a real world still isn't real. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. On that note, I think I'm going to smack on something myself. Shout out to Marcus. And hop up off this bitch. I think that's all I need to say. All right, motherfuckers. So for one last time, shout out to the Ronin. All hail his name. Do whatever the fuck solutions you think need to be done. Stop crying and doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't cry when somebody else does do a solution. Like, come on, let's get our shit together, guys. Like, let's be fully consistent. And let's support that motherfucker and support anyone who's going to follow his path or any path that anyone believes is a solution on any level of reality. Because anything else is just supporting this shit. Anything less is just supporting the status quo. All right. 2 for 1. You know what I'm saying? If you got to die, take 2 with you. Church of the Broken God. Put God back together. Wake up, God. Wake up, goddess. Do away with all this shit. And preferably blow your fucking brains out so none of this shit ever comes back.